The Russell Wilson era in Pittsburgh has started. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated New York Jets 37-15 last Sunday night on Sunday Night Football. I don't want to jump on the Russell Wilson bandwagon yet, and I'm going to tell you why. I think it's a mistake. I think it's going to be one of the biggest mistakes the Pittsburgh Steelers ever make if they trade Justin Fields away. You know, Justin Fields, while he was at Chicago, he had multiple offensive coordinators. He didn't have the right cast around him. And the Steelers knew that bringing him into Pittsburgh. Now, when I look at Justin Fields, the big play ability, how he can throw that football 75 yards, how in a blink of an eye, he can go 90 yards and run for a touchdown, no problem. He is huge, big play ability. I love his attitude. He's a Steeler through and through. And this isn't a knock on Russell Wilson. You know, I want to congratulate him on his victory. He wasn't treated right in Denver. I didn't agree with the way that Sean Payton treated him down over there. I don't agree with that at all. And I just think this is a mistake by the Pittsburgh Steelers to get this excited over Russell Wilson's victory against the Jets. Now, let's go back to Justin Fields. Like I was saying, he could throw the ball 80 yards, no problem. If he takes off and run, he can be gone in the blink of an eye. He has Big Ben ability written all over him. And I think what it boils down to is stability with the offensive coordinator and him, Justin Fields, having the right supporting cast around him to be developed. The Steelers are known for developing talent. But here's the difference between developing talent with quarterbacks and all the other positions. The bottom line is you can only develop if you're on the field. That is true. But as a quarterback, you really need to be on the field compared to all the other positions. You know, Peyton Manning, his first year, I think he was 8-8. Troy Aikman, he won one game. His second year, he went 8-8. And then, you know, he went to the playoffs and the Super Bowl eventually. And today's NFL doesn't give these quarterbacks time to develop. So if they go to a bad team with bad people around them, bad coordinators, and he could be an excellent player, they ruin the QB's career. They ruin his career. Now let's look at all the upside of Justin Fields. Number one, the most important thing, his attitude. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. I was at the Steelers-Cowboys game. Everything about him, I like. Everything. I like his demeanor when things go wrong. I like the way he comes off and talks to his teammates. You know, he's not one of these quarterbacks that thinks he's here and the rest of the team is there. When things go wrong, he doesn't come off and he's screaming and yelling at everybody. He takes things in stride like a professional, and he leads. It comes across to me, the silent, I'm going to lead by example type, and I really like that. Now let's talk about his physical capabilities. You know, when you see Najee, I was 10 rows up behind the Steelers bench. And Najee Harris, look, don't get me wrong, TJ Watt's huge. There's a lot of big guys out there. But when you say Najee Harris out there, he really looks the part from head to toe. His muscles, his calves, his thighs, everything. When you see Justin Fields out there next to Najee, he's just as big or bigger than Najee. And I would bet he's faster than Najee Harris. When he takes off with that ball and he starts accelerating, you got to see it in real life. It doesn't do it justice just on TV and watching on television. When you see it in real life, he can really move. Remember, division rival Lamar Jackson, his first year or two in the league, he wasn't what he is now as far as passing the ball. He just wasn't. Took him time to develop. I can go on and on about Justin Fields, how much I like him, the physical ability. It's just processing information, making the right reads, and doing it quickly and effectively. And I think that just comes from playing and being in the right system. Now, if you look at Russell Wilson, the first couple drives against the Jets, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, it was atrocious. If the Jets were a better team, it could have easily been 21-0 Jets against, Steelers. Easily 21-0. They could have been down 21 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. Russ is like, oh, I'm just getting warmed up. I'm just getting warmed up to Tomlin. That's not how this works. This is not how that would work against the Chiefs, the Bills, and even the Ravens at this point. And I want to ask you this. Okay, Russell had one great game, good game, whatever you want to call it. Do you really think he can do that week in and week out for an entire season? I don't think so. I'm not convinced at all. This was the perfect game for Russell Wilson to get his feet wet against the Jets. I don't think he has it in him anymore. I don't think he has that ability. You take Justin Fields off the bench. He's young, he's strong, he's fast. His explosiveness is still there. Everything is there. He just needs time to develop. I really believe if the Steelers trade him to the Giants, it's going to be the biggest. This whole season is in the toilet. Because I'm telling you, Russell Wilson is going to bomb. He's going to bomb. Everybody's all happy, and Ryan Clark, and this one and that one. Oh, it's over for Justin Fields. Russ blew the Jets up. Well, I hope so, because the Jets are terrible. 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 I know this sounds like a ridiculous comparison. Big Ben, 2-time Super Bowl winner, and Justin Fields. But size, Ben, I hate to say who ran better. Obviously, we know who's faster, but Ben ran at a perfect time when he needed to run, and he was downright lethal and deadly when he ran around in the pocket a little bit and threw that ball downfield. Deadly. Justin Fields offers that to you, but runs the ball like Michael Vick. I would have stuck with Justin Fields. And I'm still sticking with Justin Fields. I do not want him to be traded. They keep saying he's going to go to the Giants. If Tomlin trades him, this is a bad decision. This is going to be if he leaves the team, 2024 season for the Steelers is in the garbage can. It's done. It's over. Because Russell Wilson is not going to be able to keep throwing the ball like this week in and week out for 16 weeks. It's just not going to happen. Let's talk about the rest of the team. Well, Russell Wilson was 16 for 29, 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris, he had 21 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. He had one long run of 34 yards. Jaylen Warren, who's coming back from injury, 12 carries, 44 yards. The Steelers had a total of 149 yards rushing on 36 attempts, 2 TDs. Pickens had his best game of the year, 5 receptions for 111 yards and a touchdown. Freiermuth, 2 receptions, 51 yards. Nobody else had any receiving touchdowns. I want to go to the Steelers defense. Peyton Wilson. I really love Peyton Wilson. There could be a play 10 or 12 yards downfield. He's always running to the ball. And when he gets there, he's in a bad mood. He plays violent. He plays aggressive. He plays fast. I love the way he runs to the football. Love it. Because when you run to the football like that, it creates turnovers. He's going to get a couple forced fumbles on the year if he keeps running to the ball like that. Second guy, obviously, we got to mention Beanie Bishop Jr. He had 2 picks, almost had a touchdown. He had a tackle for a loss. He had 5 solo tackles. We only had 1 sack from Larry Ojinobi. Here's another problem that I have with the Steelers defense right now. The entire game, TJ Watt was double teamed. He would get hit off the line, then he would get chipped by the tight end that they kept in the backfield. Why not rush 2 defenders from TJ Watt's side of the field? So, I wouldn't bring Highsmith to that side of the field. I might take one linebacker out. I might take Peyton Wilson out. Rush him. He's extremely fast. He ran a 4.3 40 at 231 pounds. If you put him outside TJ Watt or even on the inside of him and you make the offense pick their poison so TJ or him can get into the back, you got to do something to mix it up. This is not Blitzburgh football. This is outside pass rush. Everybody drop into zone coverage. And if TJ or Highsmith don't get to the quarterback, or Herberg, excuse me if I say his name wrong, they don't get pressure. Nick Herberg, they don't get pressure unless it comes off the outside. They don't. So there's a lot more way you could be mixing up these blitzes than what the Steelers are doing. But as far as from a TJ Watt standpoint, to get them one-on-one, you can bring other defenders over to blitz from the outside to make the offensive line have to pick up another guy. If you just keep leaving it the way it is, TJ Watt's going to get double teamed all year. He should not go in and listen, he plays excellent week in and week out. But we need him to sack the quarterback. So these quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hands so fast. I don't understand why you think he could be chipped by... Look, he gets to the quarterback sometimes even when he's double teamed. We know that. But why not make it easier for him? If it's an obvious passing down, excuse me, an obvious passing down, and you put Patrick Queen in the middle, and you take Peyton Wilson, and you put him on the side of TJ Watt, you put him to his inside of TJ Watt, put TJ Watt on the outside, and let him rush from there, it forces the offensive line to pick their poison and gives TJ Watt a one-on-one matchup. I'm not telling you something that the Steelers don't already know. This isn't Dick LeBeau's. Dick LeBeau's defense was way more complicated than this Steelers defense now. Back in the day with TJ Watt or Highsmith, those guys would be dropping back into coverage sometimes, and other guys would be going. The Steelers don't do that anymore. It just, the heat comes off the edge, and if it gets there, it gets there. If it don't, oh well, we're not going to change anything, which I think is a mistake. Peyton Wilson is this new hybrid linebacker. He could play safety. He could play, he could be a rush specialist on the outside. He could play inside linebacker, outside linebacker. He could play nickel corner. I really believe he's that athletic and he could do all that. I'd rather see him get more involved in the pass rush, and that's the perfect way to do it, what I was just saying. And as far as getting rid of Justin Fields, because the Steelers need to bring wide receivers in, Alvin Austin III and Van Jefferson, I like what we have already. You don't get rid of a quarterback for a wide receiver, especially when the quarterback situation isn't deep. Justin Fields should be a Steeler from here on out. He should be here for the long haul. The Steelers need to develop Justin Fields. He can be the next Big Ben Roethlisberger. It's in him. He could do it. He has the attitude, the will, the drive, the legs, the arm. I'm all in on Justin Fields.